YouTube family, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to this video. If you are new here, appreciate you for tapping in and watching this video. Make sure you lock it in for the long haul and subscribe to the channel. Do a lot of car related stuff like we got going on today. If you've already done that, I want to appreciate you guys for doing that and locking it in. Appreciate you guys that does not go unnoticed, but not gonna hold you too long. Let's go ahead and get to the topic of today's video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. So we got another mod that we'll be putting on the car here today. It was a mod that I did have on my Challenger, and so I finally get a chance to put it on my Charger here. And we're gonna see how it works out and whatnot. Hopefully it goes smooth. Since I'll be doing mods and the mods don't go how they should be, but hopefully this one does go smooth. But let's go ahead and get the car moved over, get y'all a little cold start action. It is about like 50 degrees outside, so it's kind of chilly out here. All right, we got the car moved over, so let's go ahead and show you what we're going to be installing on the car today. This is what I had on my Challenger before, these front and rear strut tire braces. Now, apparently, these are supposed to make the car handle better. I'm not sure if they will or not. I will say, after driving this car, the Widebody does handle pretty well, but this is supposed to help stiffen up the chassis, help it handle better. Now, even though these were on my Challenger, the Charger pretty much has the same mounting point, so these should work on my Charger as well. Now, these are two different strut tire braces. We got one for the front here. This one's from Petty's Garage, and the one for the rear is from BMR Suspension. Now, the reason I like this one on the rear is because the way it arcs up, it still allows you to have all your trunk space. So should be a relatively straightforward install. The front is going to be really easy, and the rear is going to be a little bit more involved, but hopefully it goes straightforward. All right, so the front one, like I said, should be relatively easy and straightforward. We just got to get these little things right here popped off, which might be a little bit tighter since these are a little bit newer. So I'm gonna have to work to get these popped off really quick. Oh, there it comes. It's coming. Pause. Yep, there we go. Got that one popped off, and had to put a little bit of force behind it to get it off here, and do the same on this side here. No, that one came off relatively quick. So what should happen is, let me grab this one, and pretty much we're going to take those bolts off here, and pretty much it should line right up with these bolts, and it should set in there like that. So let me go ahead and get these bolts off and go ahead and get this one installed. So first thing, these bolts right here are all 13 mil, so 13 millimeter socket, get those right out. All right, guys, so we got the bolts off now, so all we gotta do here, just set the ball on top of the area where the bolts were, set that down, and that's it for the front here. So I'm gonna tighten this back down, and we'll be done with the front. And there you have it, the front is done. It went easy like it should have went, so everything just tightens back up, everything goes in there just fine. Now, if you remember on my Challenger, this is the same one I had on my Challenger, red, so it just matches the car. Wasn't on purpose that I got a red car because of that. I'll tell you, I always like red. So, and now we move on to the back of the car because this one is gonna be a hard part. Let me go ahead and go to the trunk here and show you why it's gonna be harder. All right, so we're in the trunk here now. So this is gonna be harder because of the fact that it's not just directly just bolted in and go. We're gonna actually have to do some modifications back here. So I'm gonna have to trim the trunk a little bit to get it to fit. I'm not exactly 100% sure where the points to mount it at are. So I'm gonna have to get that figured out as well. So I may have to tear some of the carpet out to make it easier for me, but we'll see how that goes. But once we get that figured out, which it should be smooth sailing. Before I even cut anything or what we gotta do back here, I'm gonna actually make sure it fits first. So let's go do that, get back here, get all this stuff out, and get the back one in. All right, so pretty much with the Charger, it's definitely a little bit more involved than it was with the Challenger. So on both sides you have, after you get the carpet peeled back, so you had to go through and get the carpet pulled back, you have this white thing which covers where we need to mount. So as I was saying here, so pretty much you can see here, this is where the mount, this is where the rear strut tire brace has to mount, is behind this covering, and the carpet is on both sides here. The Challenger did not have this little white cover, it just had the carpet, so it's a little bit more insulation back here than it is with the Challenger. So what I'm gonna do, before I even cut anything. I'm gonna try to mount this brace back here just to make sure that it fits, because I don't want to sit here and try to trim this stuff and it doesn't work. So let me see if it fits first before I start cutting stuff. I'm gonna be pretty mad if I do all that, so let me do that. All right, guys, I told you the rear of this car was gonna be very involved here. So you can see here what we had to do. We trimmed out the hose for this white insulation here, and I wanted to make sure everything fits on this. Everything will fit down there once I get it tightened up. I just want to make sure it goes on there first. The next thing we're gonna do here, I'm gonna get the strut tower brace. I'm gonna get it actually bolted down, and that way I know exactly where it's gonna be, and then I can kind of trim around it. I can start trimming the carpet when I start putting the carpet back in there. So that's what we're gonna do next. So it looks like it's gonna fit. Tighten it down next, and we should be good to go from there. All right, so we got the strut tower brace mounted in the back of the car. Now I know a lot of people are wondering, why did I mount it in here and tighten it down before putting the carpet back in? The reason being is that when I put the carpet back in, I can see exactly where I'm gonna need to trim to get this carpet to lay down nicely. So that's why I put that in first. And the instructions as well kind of lay out to make sure you pull out the carpet, mount it, and then as you're putting the carpet back down to trim everything. So that's what we're about to do now, and I'll show you how that process goes. All right, so we got the carpet mostly back in there now. I just got to put the push pins and stuff in there. So that's why I mounted the brace before put the carpet back. So now what I'm doing when I put this carpet back, I can go back here and say, okay, exactly where I need to cut to make this thing lay like it needs to lay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of, and get all the stuff put back together. And we are done. You can tell it's dark now, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like now. So pretty much you can see right here, I didn't really trim too much on this side here versus that side, but honestly it's fine or whatever, and you really can't see it unless you're really looking for it. So another thing I like about this one, like I said before, you still got all your trunk space, so it won't interfere with that at all. So we are done with it and all that. So a couple things about the install. Yes, it's a pretty involved install, going in and have to trim all the stuff and whatnot. You definitely need some patience to do it. It took me a couple hours to do it, just because just trying to figure out how to trim everything right, get it to fit in there, whatnot, is all aggravating. You pretty much do have to pull out most of the trunk stuff, trunk carpet, to get it to work in there. Another thing people are wanting to know, will this dramatically improve handling and things like that? Now, the reason I have it is because I had it on my Challenger. It will help a little bit, but it's not gonna be a dramatic change. If you want to notice the biggest change in your handling, you're gonna have to do springs, more than likely coilovers, sway bars, things of that nature, to get like a real dramatic change in handling, things like that. This is going to be very minuscule, very small, increase if you do feel it at all. But like I said before, I feel like the Widebody does handle pretty well for a car this size. It's definitely hard to lose traction on this particular car with the tires and all that type of stuff, and the suspension that's on it. So if there's anything I didn't cover here, drop a comment below and I'll definitely get back to you and all that. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Catch you next video. We're out. Cut it.